Hello, this is Christina, and today I'm speaking with Josephine, who was evacuated from her home city of Leeds during the war and taken to a mining village about 10 miles away. She's going to tell us a little bit about her experiences and her memories of that time. Could you start by telling us, do you remember the day that war broke out and how you felt about it?
Yes, it was very exciting. We heard it on the radio. No television in those days. And I had no experience of war, so didn't know what to expect. So I didn't even feel afraid, really.
How old were you at the time?
7 plus.
When were you told about what was going to happen, and how did you feel about that?
We had a letter given to us by our headmistress at the school, which we had to give to our parents, and they had to sign and say whether they wanted us to be evacuated or whether they preferred us to stay at home. And mine decided that it would be better for us if we were evacuated, living in a city where there was always danger because we were near the railway and there were munition factories, so they thought it would be better if we left. My 2 brothers were evacuated, my older brother not to the same place. The younger brother was taken to the same village as me, but not into the same house.
And did most of the children in your school go too?
Once again, as I said before, it was about half, perhaps less than half the class.
And could you describe exactly what happened on the day that you left?
My mother took us to school with our luggage, such as it was, and we were taken by a double-decker bus out of the city to the mining village called Bowers Row. The mining village was only about 12 miles away, really, but it seemed a long way in the bus as a child. We were taken by the bus, as I said, and we were taken to what you would call the village institute, where there was a group of ladies waiting to take us to the houses where people had offered to give a home to evacuees. We were given also, I don't know if it was a basket or I think it was a carrier bag, the old-fashioned paper carrier bags full of various tinned fruit, tinned meat, tinned fish, things like that, to take to the house to help them out a little bit because food was rationing.
So you didn't know which house you were going to before you got there?
I didn't know where I was going, and when we were being allocated to our various hosts and hostesses, the lady I was supposed to go to didn't really want me because when she saw me, 7 years old, I wasn't going to be very much help to her. She preferred an older child. But one of the host ladies told me not to worry. She said, "You come home with me and I'll look after you," which she did. She wasn't expecting me, and her husband wasn't expecting me, and her grown-up daughter wasn't. So here was Mum turned up on the doorstep with a little evacuee. But they were very welcoming and very kind, and they looked after me very well. During the time I lived there, every morning, one or two of our teachers went with us, and every morning we went to the local church where we had mass, a little bit of religious instruction, and then we were taken to the local school where once again we were made very welcome. The children were very friendly. In fact, I think they were quite proud and excited to have an evacuee as their friend because it was a new experience for them.
And how long did you stay there?
Not too long, really, because the imminent danger seemed to have receded a little, and our parents thought, well, it would be all right for us to come home. So we were home just before Christmas, which was nice.
And once you'd gone home, did the air raids continue?
Yes, the air raids continued, and living near a railway and not far from a munition factory, we did hear the bombings going on, but in our little part of the world we were quite safe. But we did have to use the air raid shelters. Mostly at night the air raid siren would go, and we were taken down to our own air raid shelter, which was in the garden, which was about 6 feet deep I can't remember the dimensions really, but it was quite deep, and it was roofed with corrugated iron, and there were about 4 bunk beds inside, and an earthen floor, which my father put planks of wood in to make it a little bit warmer and cleaner.
And can you remember the day the war ended and how you found out about it?
We found out the day war ended by radio, and it was really exciting. We went out and looked to play with our friends, and shouted and cheered and waved flags. And then the older children wanted to go to town because there was a lot going on there. Bands and flags and noise and happiness, exuberance.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your memories with us. A little bit more history stored for future generations. Thank you.